down the series. All right, well, for those of you in the crowd, I want you to get hyped, get loud, because this is our final matchup here in Katowice, and let's send it over to your commentators. It's going to be Uber and Mr. X.
And what a way to finish off this leg of the Overwatch World Cup group stages with a transatlantic clash. Will it be all orange everything, or will it be Maple Leaves Rising, Matt? That's the question.
It's going to be a very close match between these two teams. A lot of well-known players on both rosters. For me, personally, we were talking a little bit, Too Easy versus Surefour. I think that's a big matchup. Mangachu stepped up in a big way when we saw Canada win earlier. Surefour, had some up and down games. I think you're going to need to see him bounce back in a big way. And then the other end, Too Easy, still a free agent, can really make a name for himself here again. I mean, obviously he's been around a few rosters in the past, but can really put himself in that upper echelon of the pro ranks again.
It's going to be Kings Row to start this series off yet again. And look, I've got to echo James's point on the desk. Both these rosters have extremely strong caliber, but for Jonah and for Facility, it's a baptism of fire. Now, their entry into the top level of Overwatch comes at a very interesting time, and there is a heck of a lot to play for here.
Well, they've been fantastic up until this point, right? But this is obviously their toughest competition outside of the South Korea game, but you expected that to happen. I feel like a lot of pressure on these two guys. Obviously, a spot at BlizzCon on the line changes the game completely, but you got Mangachu on the other end, right? I mean, this is his first LAN event. Definitely a lot of pressure on him as well.
Absolutely, and I don't know if booty butt cheeks is the phrase I would have used to describe Mangachu earlier on, but there was no doubt some of his play was lacking. Again, he will be starting on that D.Va here on the defense for Canada. Surefour, Soldier 76, very standard composition coming out from both these sides. The Tracer being the difference between the two for the most part.
Yeah, and Facility has been great on the Genji all weekend long, so we'll see how the Netherlands will play around this. See if he can get a pick at the beginning. See, he spotted Rolf up top, and they went go look for him, but Rolf had dropped down low. He's going to get hit with a bionic grenade. His Facility. See Mangachu backing up. That is a great play by Mangachu there, pulling back for Rolf. That's exactly what you want to see from Team Canada.
There's nowhere to run for Facility after his pink pursuer had found him. However, Canada playing that rather passively, or at least in a calculated fashion, does give up one tick to the Netherlands here. Obviously it means I need to spend less time on the point. They do eventually get to the point. If that happens, they win out a fight, can stand tall. So, a little bit more calculation here from the Netherlands as they make their way forward. No big ultimates on the table yet. Very much, these are vanilla fights, as I like to call them, where it's very much about picking off targets and individual skill. Morton, there's a big boot back there. Mangachu still making his way towards the point. Yoni goes very low very quickly though. He and Too Easy getting picked off means that again, it's back to the drawing board for the Netherlands. Not quite another point for them here. Morton manages to find Rolf and Facility again. This is a stagger. This is unintentional for him to be around for so long, but again, not much to be done.
Well, Facility jumps on Rolf, but he just does a great job staying alive. His teammates in the front don't need to peel all the way back for him. They take care of the members of the Netherlands in front. Then they come back to help Rolf towards the end of that fight. And you see Too Easy dropping there at the beginning at the hands of Agilities. Can't happen because now it's just going to make more time than Netherlands has to wait.
No, I don't love that. The Netherlands need to just re-establish some control here and get the communication going. They need to be going as a unit, and ideally, if they're going to fall as one as well. Costing themselves undue time, and look at that. They actually thought they had Too Easy caught out there, but Facility and Yona go down. Agilities, the Dragon Blade was backed up with the Nano Boost, and the rest of his team were there. And Canada are like bulldogs right now, not letting anyone in the yard. Beware of the Maple Leaves.
And I love how Canada played that. Instead of playing a little bit more passive like they were, as soon as the Netherlands turned the corner and they had them kind of backed up towards that staircase, that's when you saw Agilities dive in with the blade, cut through the side of the Netherlands.
The Netherlands have been able to bank some ultimates now for this next fight coming in. They're going to be crucial, but Canada haven't been frivolous with theirs either. The Netherlands eventually, something's going to give it. Too Easy gets caught out by Agilities. That should never, ever happen.
And he gets cut down. And he gets a ton of damage on the deflect as well. And Surefour probably doesn't even use his attack visor here. It's a good fight again for Canada. They've looked very strong here at the beginning of Kings Row.
Not a bad trade though. Surefour gets baited out to outside, and Dante meets him with a flurry of orbs, and now both teams are going to go for the sound barrier up on the point. The self-destruct, interesting, is going to be right in the middle of the archway. It doesn't claim anyone, but Wolf is forced to submit under the weight of that pulse bomb. Now the Netherlands are finding some traction in this fight. Not a moment too soon, might I add.
Yeah, XQC pops the Primal Rage, waiting for Mangachu here to try and lead the way with the Matrix. Surefour already used the attack visor here. Let's see, he's going to be pushed all the way back. Not going to get anything for it. There'll be 2 ticks for the Netherlands, getting very close to taking the first point here, trying to unlock the payload.
Yeah, good D-suit though there. XQC coming forward, and Crusade is ejected from his mech, and Agility's down, scoped in with a Dragon Blade. Found one, found two. You better believe it's going to be three from this man. 4 kills from the Dragon Blade. Canada are at risk of losing that point, and Agility's goes wild. It's 5 kills for the man. And the Netherlands are seeing red and white.
Like my good friend Dr. Disrespect says, violence, speed, and momentum out of Agility's there with the Dragon Blade. He's able to get into the side of Netherlands and just run right through them. And they have to be crushed after that one.
Rolf now again, safe positioning for him, both giving healing out to his teammates and damage to his foes. Now, Butter Grenade dropped as well. XQC is able to get back to that healing haven and resume his control of the point. Again going low, but Mangachu and XQC both demand attention right now from the damage they're taking. But in the meantime, Dante is for the shore for. It's a trade. No, it's better than that. Yona finds Joe Meister. Self-destruct drops down, but a sound barrier here for the Netherlands. Now they're keeping themselves topped up health-wise. Facility, it's his turn to step forward. The Dragon Blade and 2 kills ought to do the job for now. It's just bare soul for Shore 4, almost Shore 4 against the world. A little bit of help here, at least from Agility's up on the point, but again, it's a tough road to hoe, and that's going to be the Netherlands finally getting control of the point. Heroics from Canada, Matt, no doubt about it, but I give it up at the death.
Well, it's very tough there for Canada at the end. They have no ultimate abilities. The Netherlands comes in with a sound barrier and the Dragon Blade. They're able to break on through. Still, it's a fantastic hold there from Team Canada at the beginning. Now you forced all the ultimates off the side of the Netherlands. Now Canada can come back. They'll have the Nano Boost. They have the Primal Rage. You got Pulse Bomb, Dragon Blade. A lot to work with here if you're Canada.
Netherlands now probably need to jockey back a little bit. XQC has opened the floodgates, and the aggression now coming from this team. It's going to be Agility's pushing forward, and Nano Boost as well. He'll still be able to cut through targets. The Transcendence, like I said before, it's not enough to protect Too Easy and Mort. Too Easy drops in 1 hit from a Nano Boosted Dragon Blade, regardless of how topped up he is. And that's going to be Canada to break back in quickly. Netherlands sent back to the pavilion.
Yeah, and you saw, I believe it was the self-destructive Mangachu. It forced everybody into the bookshop, and then that's when you saw Agility's pop the blade, go right in, cut through the players of the Netherlands. The Transcendence holds on to them for a little bit. It's a pulse bomb stick right to the face of Dante there from Sure4. So it's a good pick. It's going to force the Netherlands back.
Too Easy is actually, ranging quite far and wide on the flank here. So you see briefly through the wireframe, he's actually being pursued up on the high ground. Too Easy needs to be a little bit careful. He's a little bit caught out from the rest of his team. Crusade had to save him.
And we talked a little bit about Sure4 in the pregame, and in the previous series we saw with them, against Russia, he was not really landing a lot of those pulse bombs. It's a good sign there early to see him connect with one.
Facility has to abort early there. You can see how much damage he took coming in from XQC. There's no freedom for this man to work, but he's going to try the Dragon Blade. Nonetheless, Joe Meister falls, and other support will be great, and it's going to be Jonah helping out. Facility with 2 to his name, Magnitude to be surrounded out here, and the Netherlands don't need to make it a landslide victory to get some progress here. Dante's fallen in the backside, so that's 50% of their healing missing, but it's enough for the Netherlands to keep moving forward. Progress there, but ultimates are being forced to be spent.
I mean, as long as you get those 2 supports with the blade, you imagine they're going to win the rest of that fight, advance the payload forward. It's really going to be determined, though, if Canada can get back, challenge this before they get that second checkpoint. You do have the sound barrier and the Nano Boost to really put up a pretty good fight.
Agility's is going to have Dragon Blade. There's going to be a Nano Boost there as well. It might be another hero play. He gets spooked back, but it's not going to be enough. Gets the freeing dash forward. Again, knocks back. Agility's looking for his target. Unsuccessful thus far in connecting. The sound barrier from the Netherlands protects them from the rage of the angry Cyber Ninja. Agility still back up on this point. Too Easy Facility go down. This is not going the way the Netherlands would have liked at all. They're in overtime, and they're completely scattered, staggered, and being crushed around the point.
Yeah, and you saw the pressure that Agilities was putting on the supports of the Netherlands that forces Morta back all the way up to help out Dante. And Sure4 is going to be able to pick up one. Canada comes back in the final moments here, Mitch. They will get a hold right before the second point.
The gauntlet has been removed, displayed, and slapped across the face. The face?
The face, okay. That's a new one.
The face of the Dutch.
Must be an Australian thing.
It is, definitely. Yeah. Just like flip-flops.
You guys talk all funny. Sorry, Chelsea, didn't mean it. My fiance's Australian, so I can't.
Oh, really? Thanks for letting me know that.
Yeah, I'm just letting the other people.
I bet you're friends with Dr. Disrespect, too.
I am.
Okay, mate.
I am.
Well.
Good friends.
The Netherlands have fallen short of the Foundry Zone, which means they only have 1 checkpoint to their name so far. This is generally a fairly precarious position, to say the least.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult for the Netherlands here. Going on the defensive end, I think if you are a Team Canada fan out there, I think you're very happy what you saw from Sure4 there in the first half. I thought he was very effective on the 76 and the Tracer. I think if they can get him going with the way Agilities has played today, I think they're in a very good spot in the series.
One thing Agilities has displayed thus far in this match is his ability to tip the scales when it's required. In fact, it was actually something Canada fell foul of when Shadowburn managed to break them apart on Hollywood. Yep. That was him going for that Hero Blade play. But Agilities is notoriously very aggressive on that Genji. It does a lot without the Dragon Blade. Mechanically good enough to avoid being taken down prematurely. And that little bit of aggression, that impetus, that sort of initiative is kind of what Canada are looking for here. Now as they go on the attack, and that's it, right in front of the Foundry here, the Netherlands are going to have to put up a stoic, stalwart defense to put them to bay.
Well, I think there's two ideas with the Dragon Blade, right? You hold on to it for that perfect time, and you kind of wait a little bit, like we see Shadowburn do a lot. But what we've seen from Agilities is when he finds a team, it's Surefour just wasting a lot of bullets there.
That's like the Great Emu War in Australia of the 19th century. Tough times.
That may have not even happened. I don't even know.
Definitely happened.
What you see from Agilities, though, when he finds players in a concentrated area, he pops the Dragon Blade right away, doesn't even think about it, tries to take out as many as he can. So I think you see two different ideas how to use the Dragon Blade, and we'll see Magnitude here at the start. He's going to go with the Hanzo.
Yep, this is definitely one in his wheelhouse. Magnitude has always been a fan of pulling Hanzo out in situations like this, but the Netherlands aren't going to let them get any free progress here. Still, XQC does awfully well to make it an even trade. This puts the Netherlands in a bit more of a dangerous position now. Canada spawn much closer. They have that spawn advantage here. So the Netherlands really had to clean up this fight solidly. And Vasily realizes he's bitten off a bit more than he can chew. He's forced to back away. He's going to get his big brother to come and help him out. And the biotic field is not going to be enough. And that's a kind of annoying stack of Surefour. He's going to be out of sync with the rest of his team.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't love the position there. He's all alone in that staircase, and he gets just pinned by Crusade and Facility. So here's what we saw Canada do earlier. They had Mangachu rock the Pharah. He was dominant with it. Let's see if he can bring out some of that stellar play again. And a rocket from the head, and then Surefour with a few bullets. The Facility is going to fall at the hands of Surefour. Surefour picks up another kill onto Dante. It's a very good push here from Canada, as you see Mangachu just being a lot of issues in the skies.
Yeah, and this is just the artist's signature on quite a grisly portrait, to be honest with you, Matt. Mangachu just adds his little touches over to the fight, doesn't need to claim all the kills, but definitely helping in the damage race. And Canada nicely pushed through. You can see once Mangachu was up in the air, the Netherlands were already sort of kind of engaging there, maybe not even expecting to see the bird. Mangachu makes it work.
Well, now it's going to force a change out of the Netherlands, you would think, right? I mean, I don't think you're going to take Tracer and Genji here against the triple DPS of Team Canada. I mean, you can, we have seen it before, right, throughout the weekend, as you see Facility get up high, take out Mangachu, but Agilities answers back. Double Dragon Blade, deflection there. Facility, though, answers back 2 kills of his own, so it's pretty even right now for both sides, but I think you're going to need to see maybe Too Easy go over to the 76 to deal with the Pharah.
It may not be sufficient when the Pharah is going to be pocketed by the Mercy the whole time. That's the thing. Rolf can essentially out-heal the damage towards Mangachu if he's at a reasonable enough altitude. Too Easy gets 2, though. XQC overstays his welcome there. Perhaps just the possibility of a quick kill lighting up his eyes, and he misses the obvious right underfoot. Surefour still trades that after the fact, though. Too Easy's down, so it still means that the Netherlands have to back away.
Yeah, so Netherlands is going to have to back up. There will be progress made here by Canada, and you caught a glimpse of it there. You could see the gold block that Canada needs to get to, and Surefour gets another pick. So Surefour gets 2 picks. It's going to back Netherlands all the way out. Those 2 kills are so massive.
This is much better from Surefour, by the way. His flanks are working out to perfection. I suppose it's a bit easier when he doesn't have mistakes chasing him down. There's no Tracer player in Netherlands to follow him. Now, this is weird. Crusade's a flex player. He's been known for it before he started playing Lucio. He's going to go for the Pharah. Too Easy on the McCree here. So, yeah, triple DPS response from Netherlands here to try and deal with Mangachu, essentially.
And you see just the respect they have for Surefour on the Tracer. They're going to bring out the McCree, try and deal with him, try and deal with the Pharah. It'll be Facility with the Dragon Blade, though. He's able to get through 2. That's a 2-man res there from Rolf. He's going to bring Mangachu and XQC back into the fight. The barrage comes out, gets 1. XQC on the ground, though. He's able to pick up 2 more. Things falling apart here for the Netherlands.
And, I mean, that barrage from Mangachu was big. Canada get across the line on the back of a brute force broadside of rockets. And you can see the frustration for Facility. He knew he was trying to get rid of Mangachu, stop him, interact with him, somehow just get in his way. But he just had to impotently lob shurikens in his direction, and it just wasn't enough there. XQC representing in the crowd. And so far, he's been a cornerstone Canada's success in that first map.
Yeah, he's very good. I know in those solo tank situations. We saw it against Russia when they decided to run a lot of the Pharah Mercy. When he's alone as Winston, he's able to just play his life very well, stays alive for such a long time, able to buy his DPS players enough time to make a big impact.
And of course, agility's a big game for him. In general, Canada, the DPSs are stepping up to the plate. This man on your screen, Visibility, I have to say, has risen to the occasion nonetheless.
Without a doubt.
You know, I appreciate a Genji that's not afraid to go and try and switch strike his foe. I mean, this is him here, just a couple of clips. This was a fight that was going very, very well to begin with, and this is kind of when things go wrong. Note the Baron's coming through here. There's a man advantage created, XQC and Magnitude doing stuff off the side, and Visibility eventually realizes, I have no teammates, I've extended to try and deal with this Pharah, and no one's on the payload.
Yeah, and you've already used the blade, right? I mean, you used the blade at the beginning to get those kills.
And it was good.
And it was a good blade, right? You know, the res comes in, though, and the rest of his teammates do fall. So, tough loss there for the Netherlands. Canada will be at 1-0, so you go to map number 2.
And it may be a concern for the Netherlands that there is, or has been displayed, a slight lack of flexibility in terms of their team compositions. You brought it up, Matt. You said, I'd be surprised to see if Netherlands, you know, don't change their composition up against this Pharah, this triple DPS, and the reality is that they kind of stuck with their comp. They stuck with their Tracer Genji, which can work. And then they made this very interesting switch and put Crusade on Pharah too easy on McCree. And it's like you're trying to put the, you know, the round block inside the square hole sometimes.
Well, you remember Too Easy gets picked, so they have to back up. And then Jonah gets picked, so they have to back up even further. So they don't even really get a great attempt with those changes to see if it even works, see if it made an impact. So,
and there weren't any fights that the Netherlands were winning outright. It was always like they get 3 or 4 kills, and then they'd lose 1 player or 2 players from, you know, flanking efforts or, you know, kills after the fact from Canada. So the Netherlands never really had a confident, you know, time to set up and have 6 players and have these complete team wipes. So it was Canada really managing to match them. Even in losing fights, they're still able to edge closer to victory.
And most of those picks in that second phase came from Surefour on the Tracer. We talked about it a little bit, you know, in the pregame, you know, see if he can bounce back from what seemed like a slow match against Russia. Those 2 picks were huge. It bought Canada so much free time to move the payload up, and it really kind of ruined the Netherlands' chances of building up some ults, putting up a good fight.
It means that the Netherlands couldn't push Canada back into chokes earlier in the map. That's crucial. But now we're on to Nepal. That's going to be the selection of the Netherlands here. And again, they're very much, you know, standard composition from them. Surefour's going to be playing the Sombra here, and Agility's on the Tracer. So this is one of the other facets of Canada here. Surefour obviously wants to control those key mega health packs. There's 3 that sort of surround the main point.
Well, when you have DPS players as versatile as Canada does, it just opens up so many options for you as a team, and it makes it so difficult for a team like the Netherlands to really game plan against what they're going to do against them. And you see Surefour there. They'll probably hack in some health packs, comes out of nowhere, takes out Too Easy.
Not a great start for Too Easy to get picked off in that fight. Again, he did mention yesterday he had a little bit of trouble on his flanking efforts. And Dante's able to press forward here, so Canada, confident kills for them. And again, you know, if you're Visibility right now and you're playing that Genji, and you're finding that all 3 megas are, you know, out of your control, you can't use them, that's frustrating. Tracer at least has a self-heal and recall. Visibility's going to have to rely entirely on his own healers. He can't range far and wide and use health packs as, you know, checkpoints, if you will.
Which even then, I mean, he has to play around the healers, right, or at least in line of sight. And then that may put them in position to get picked off by Surefour on the Sombra. So the Sombra hacking these health packs, it just
so frustrating.
It just makes the Netherlands' life so much harder.
And not even those health packs are hacked, but notice the one straight through the wall there behind enemy territory. Surefour's also managed to hack. So that means the Netherlands can't even keep themselves sustained while pushing through that key choke. That's really annoying for them. Dante falls to Agility's there, and you can see the Netherlands have sort of tried to group up on the inside area. Very susceptible to a pulse bomb.
But you may not even need it. I mean, right now, well, you just used it, but you may not even need it, you know, any more ultimates. If you are Team Canada, you do have the EMP here for Surefour, but you're going to back up a little bit. You just lost XQC. Try and hold on the point, but I mean, we really even haven't seen a great team-on-team fight, and Canada's already at 60% here.
Because they're controlling the access points to the shrine itself, Matt. There's like a couple players that are responsible in Canada for just preventing any sort of progress in the Netherlands. They finally made their way up to the point, but guess what? They could be walking into an EMP here. Visibility gets hacked. He's also got a Discord orb on him. You can lose literally nothing from that position. A good transcendence, but that may have been forced out there by Dante just to keep that Genji alive.
Yeah, Canada's going to use their own transcendence to get all the way through this, and there the EMP comes in from Surefour, connects with almost all the players of the Netherlands. And just when the Netherlands think they have forced a good team fight that they potentially could swing in their favor, an EMP wipes all their chances away.
You forced the transcendence with a hack. That's what Surefour managed to do. Canada are on another level compared to the Netherlands right now. They're completely in their heads. They're controlling space on the map. They're creating space for Surefour and Agilities to also get big braces of kills. And there was no chance for the Netherlands to even get back on towards the point. That is demoralizing.
How many attempts did the Netherlands even have to even get the point? I mean, right at the beginning of the game, they had a few players drop. maybe 2 really good fights. Like, you can make an argument like it was just
there weren't
one.
Good fights. There were 2 fights. There was the first fight, which they got picked off incredibly early on. There was Too Easy got picked off by Shore4 as Sombra, which, I mean, you can't allow that to happen here. And there should be smiles on the Canadians' faces right now, because they know something that the Netherlands don't. And that's what's giving them the edge here. The SQC, very vocal player on his team. He and Joe Meister bounce off each other a lot in terms of their calls. Joe Meister kind of makes the last decision, but XQC often decides his own dives and confers quite frequently. Look, listening to that team is what's very chaotic. XQC speaks very, very fast and with a sense of urgency, but Joe Meister kind of balances them out. But Canada have got really good communication.
I feel like watching XQC today, though, he's done a fantastic job just picking out targets, jumping on them, communicating it to the team, because you never see, when you watch Canada, you know, him dive on one player and all the focus fire go to another.
And look at this now. Gunner's going to go for the dive. Where's the backup? Facility's there. So Joe Meister's going to fall, and XQC was just a little bit too late to the party on the peel back now. Mortar and Facility getting those kills in there. Yona to find Rolf, and this will be Canada being forced back for the time being. Just had to step back off this one. Mangachu gets de-suited there. Finally goes down. So he's not staggered out too long. The Netherlands didn't take the point before the fight started here, so it's not a huge loss to Canada if they had anyone staggered. But now the Netherlands will set up. Let's keep an eye on how they choose to do this. Facility, oh, that's way too close to be to XQC right now. Don't poke the bear, or the monkey for that matter.
It's pretty fortunate there to get out with his life, but it was a good dive there from the Netherlands. I do agree with you. I think XQC was a little bit late getting back to his supports, pushing some of the members of the Netherlands back, and we'll see if Agilities can just keep farming this blade. He's got members from the Netherlands chasing him down. XQC trying to give him some help as the Netherlands is committed to pushing all the way back into this corner.
Both Winstons are very, very low, and Agilities there realizes that the Netherlands are a little bit beaten and battered, so he's going to go in and get a bit of extra damage across the line. Morton was the target that he claimed. Facility as well, falling down to Joe Meister, and definitely the DPS and tanks of Canada are looking good right now. Joe Meister, even as I say it, gets himself back onto that scoreboard. It is going to be a self-destruct on the point. For zoning purposes, Shore4 has an EMP. The Netherlands would be wise not to go in half-baked.
You see, he throws a translocator right behind Dante there. He's going to get a hack off there on a Crusade. So no defense matrix. The sound barrier comes in for Canada as well. Canada should clean this fight up. It's going to be Jonah jumping on the point here for the Netherlands, just trying to give them some more time. They are still in control of the point. That ends there, though. As Canada gets control of the point, it'll be 60% towards the Netherlands.
I laughed just then because Shore4 threw a translocator in the direction of Dunter, and he completely backed out. He was like, there's no way. They must have had a feel that, you know, he'd be close to an EMP, which is kind of like all the time if you're a good Sombra. But that completely zoned him out of the fight. It's like, I'm not gonna hang around for this. And Dunter was prevented from really getting involved too much in the early stages of that fight, which gave Canada a huge advantage. Ultimates are looking good for them. I'm not gonna lie, Matt, that Transcendence from Rolf is gonna be very, very important to keep them topped up as the Netherlands bring a Dragon Blade, a Pulse Bomb, a Self-Destruct, Primal Rage.
And they're gonna lead it with the Self-Destruct. It goes over the top. You're gonna see XQC. He'll bring out the Primal Rage, just trying to push the players back from the Netherlands, and there's that Transcendence you talked about, keeping everybody up from Canada.
And Facility was forced to be a bystander in that fight. As soon as he saw the Transcendence be drawn out, he realized he couldn't do anything, and now he dies far too late because he was hanging around looking for another opportunity there. Facility is being nullified to a great degree. I don't know if there's something else up the sleeve for the Netherlands if he can switch this one out. They just need to get him into these fights.
Well, you do see Too Easy switch over to the McCree, so they tried this a little bit on King's Row. It was just too late. Now it's going to push Agilities all the way back. So now they know they have the McCree, but here comes an EMP plus the Dragon Blade.
Yeah, what do you do about this? Too Easy can't even flash the Genji your way. No flash spotter for him. And Agilities is just going to go back and forth with the blade. Raspy edge over the edge of the Netherlands, and now they're just forced to walk back out the door. Nothing to be done. 75% on the tick. Canada are in control.
The Netherlands has had no answer for Shore4 on the Sombra. Agilities running through them with Dragon Blades. The Netherlands maybe has one really good attempt at this match, and all they got here is a Dragon Blade, and now they just get the sound barrier, so they have these two ultimates to combine.
Facility's got to do something now. The Dragon Blade has to be big. It is. He finds Rolf, and Joe Meister goes down. Most supports have fallen to his hand, but he's not done there. Agility's down. Most of the damage on the Mangachu was by his hand as well, and just when he's required, he steps up to the plate. He delivers a home run. But the game's not done yet for the Netherlands.
Well, now, I mean, they win that fight, and that's great. They get control of the point, but now you have Shore4 with the EMP. You probably will have Joe Meister with a sound barrier here, so you'll have to see if Too Easy can do some damage at range, maybe take out one of the flankers of Canada, swing things in the Netherlands' favor off the rip here, but looks like Canada's going to have a lot of utility to try and take this point back.
Too Easy is sort of resigned to sit back in this corner and try and get a little bit of damage at long range, but Canada have got the sound barrier ready to go. Shortfall gets stopped in his tracks, but no, he still gets the EMP off. He is cut down though. It's traded back and forth, and Agility's now with the Discord Orb, needs to give Too Easy a wide berth. The Transcendence coming forward there from Rolf was kind of out of position, and the Netherlands have a chance to break back in. Self-destruct, Too Easy steps aside, tries to get the flash down. He's going to get healing now, and that's important. We're in overtime, and this fight's about to get pretty darn messy. The jump forward there, XQC with the Primal Rage trying to knock people away. There's only ultimate on the point though, that could be big. Overtime was ticking down, but again, XQC rejoins the fray, but only for a second. His life is cut very short. Magnitude down is ejected from his mech and dealt with very quickly. Again, where's the score going to come from? It looks like an attempt from Shorefall to keep this game going, but it's not going to be enough. Or will it? No! Agilities gets there. It's not enough though. And we have 1-1. The Netherlands come to life.
On those picks by Too Easy at the beginning, he's able to get the flash off onto Surefour, pick him up. The damage he put down on Agilities, it looked like Agilities wanted to dive on him, right? Because he knew his flash was on cooldown, but that one headshot, the Discord Orb backed him all the way up. Then they try and send XQC with the Primal Rage out on him by some time. The Transcendence comes in as well. It's big kills by Too Easy on the McCree there that helps sway that in the Netherlands' favor.
Is this the genesis of a strategy from the Netherlands that can actually deal with what Canada have been throwing at them? At least on this map, it's a possibility. Surefour's EMP was forced out of him because he got flashed by Too Easy. He was not able to catch much of the Netherlands in that blast at all, and you're right, Agilities was sort of caught out of position, discorded against the McCree. I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up. I'm a McCree main, I want to see him do work, but the Netherlands have switched back. Crusade on the Pharah though, so triple DPS to come in here against the Pharah Mercy here for Canada.
Yeah, this is something the Netherlands, I think, they had Crusade go over to the Pharah as well on King's Row. They just never got a really good look at it. You do feel confident. This is a very good point here for Pharah. You can do a lot of damage once the point unlocks and a lot of players start to group up.
You only got chunked down very low, and there's no burst healing on the Netherlands right now outside of Transcendence, which definitely isn't available. They're looking pretty bloodied right now. But the trades are there. XQC's dropped down, but Agilities and Mangachu are holding their own in terms of the damage being dealt. You can see now on the point, just saw Yona fall down. Mangachu has the freedom now to actually approach this in close space because there's no Winston to sort of cleave damage onto him. You can actually feel safe about going into that kind of fight. Crusade seems to be trying to head for the hills.
Yeah, and as Pharah as good as Mangachu, I mean, he's going to connect with a lot of these rockets at close range when he gets a lot closer to the ground, closer to the point. Going to be able to put a lot of damage down on the squishies. Then you've got Surefour just running all over the place, causing tons of chaos. Same with Agilities. They're going to be able to clean up a lot of those kills. Looks like a pretty good comp here from Canada.
Bit of respect from Too Easy, switching to the Soldier 76. Again, the hit scan pressures from long range may prove to be invaluable here. XQC's forced to back out, and Rolf going to give him a little bit of healing now that Mercy to come through. Rolf has a resurrect in this fight. XQC doesn't have to feel bad about dying here, but the rest of his team maybe should try and stay up. Rolf was the one with the resurrect. Now he's the non-factor in the fight. Visibility dashes through, a lot of damage to spread there. Again, Canada, the trend of getting kills after they've lost a team fight is there, but it doesn't help them nearly as much on control.
And you imagine Canada is kind of playing that stacked on the point because Rolf comes in, picks up a res, maybe you force some of the ults out before that, but Rolf actually gets taken out by Facility there, so a big kill from Facility at the beginning of that fight.
This fight's going to be nuts, Matt. There are so many big ultimates ready to go. I can't even tell you how this one's going to work out. If Crusade can remove Rolf from the fight early on, that resurrect pressure just won't be there at all. So far he's actually zoning out the Pharah Mercy combo, but now wants to commit to the point. That's very dangerous. He goes for the barrage at point blank and he gets pulse bombed. That's incredibly aggressive play from Crusade and it costs him his life.
And now it's going to be Facility with the Dragon Blade. He's going to be able to take out Mangachu as he used the Rocket Barrage, but there comes the Resurrect from Rolf. Going to bring XQC and Mangachu back into the equation as now Canada on the point trying to take this back.
Aggressive play and Surefour cuts down Yona before he can really get progress on the point. Now we're starting to see signs of life for the Netherlands. A couple misplays, I have to say, and Facility didn't get any value for his Dragon Blade, so they only come into this next fight with one ultimate. Potentially a dangerous situation.
We'll see how the Netherlands plays this. Now, Jonah does have the Primal Rage on the side of Canada. You have XQC with his Primal Range as well. The Sound Barrier Mangachu picks up Too Easy at the beginning of this, so you may not even get another good attempt. Canada uses the Sound Barrier here. When they get that first pick, they're going to push forward. They only get one more with it.
It's interesting to see that come out here, but Canada have pretty decent ultimate economy to work with at the moment. I mean, Too Easy is getting picked a lot. It happened yesterday as well. He really needs to be able to set up comfortably and safely. Mangachu's able to put too much pressure on him. So Canada, I make the statement. They're going to kick the Netherlands out of that main stage and try and stay forward as long as they possibly can. The Netherlands need to break through this now. They've been kept under the thumb, and they've got one more chance.
Yeah, with 90% here for Canada. It's looking very good for them to close out map number 2, and Jonah was actually forced to use the Primal Rage basically in the spawn to stay alive there and now get back towards the point.
Yeah, XQC's actually managed to catch Mortar out on his own there, but Agilities has bigger fish to fry. Perhaps he backs away, the tactical visor connects, but it's a good rest from Rolf. He needed to use that one here. Agilities is going to be back up on his feet and he almost has a Dragon Blade to boot. Jonah gives bouncing on towards Joe Meister. It's a Lucio Pancake, but that's all really is going to adorn the battlefield for the Netherlands. Canada break back in a big way. Agilities had the Dragon Blade, but this is no one stepping up to the plate. Is there no one else, he says? And perhaps it's just the Winston going to go down. Overtime's done. Map 2 for Canada. This may be getting out of hand for the Netherlands.
The Netherlands were just forced to use so many ults to just even kind of like get back towards the point. The tack visor comes in from Too Easy, but Rolf with a big res, bringing 2 members of Team Canada back into the fight. XQC with a Primal Rage, knocking players off the point towards the end, then works his way back with Surefour to the point. Take out Crusade and Co. as Canada takes a 2-0 lead.
Big lead for Canada right now. They are 1 map away from ascending to to BlizzCon in Anaheim. God help me, it's all getting too close this time of year. 1 more map's all they need. The Netherlands hanging on. We're going to go to a break, and when we return, we're going to hear from the desk a little bit about how this match has gone thus far.
We are hope.
We are honor.
We are courage.
We are justice.
We are compassion. We are determination.
We are harmony. We are Overwatch.
The Overwatch World Cup 2017 is brought to you by Omen by HP, T-Mobile, and Blizzard Entertainment.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 2017 Overwatch World Cup halftime here between the Netherlands and Canada. As we get ready here, the Netherlands down in this series 2-0, but they have fought valiantly, especially in Nepal, taking it to the 3rd point. Canadians, though, showing no signs of slowing down, so they want to go to Anaheim, California, not Gamescom. The Amazon.
That is
or the Amazon.
We're covering all the places in the world now where they could be going, but really where they want to go is BlizzCon, and they are looking they're looking pretty solid at this moment. I mean, Kings Row was a slaughter, let's face it, and I loved it. It was everything I wanted plus some. I loved how much respect the Netherlands had to show to the DPS from Canada. I mean, they had to switch to McCree to somehow deal with Surefour's Tracer and didn't quite manage because there was still Mangachu on that Pharah, and there was also still Agilities on that Genji, and they were wrecking havoc in the back lines, front lines, literally everywhere from Netherlands.
All lines.
It was great. All lines.
Whose
They were
line?
covered, and it was beautiful. I liked it. This was good. I'm enjoying this.
It really was. It was insane. But we also saw Agility have some moments as well, but Agility's was fantastic on Genji. DPS in general. Reinforce your takeaways here. Your takeaways.
I think the big difference on Kings Row was definitely the nano blades from Agilities. I mean, he got a 6K with one of the nano blades. That was just insane.
It was 6K? I thought it was a 5K.
It was a 5K. Okay, I'm just
Huffing
it up a bit.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Someone is going to check. Don't worry about it. No one sees that.
It was dope. It was only one of the...
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was the difference maker on Kings Row. Definitely the nano blades were fantastic from Agilities, and we've seen him struggle with the dives together with XQC. But when Agilities gets to initiate when he wants to with those nano blades, I mean, he has been shining throughout. So he was the difference maker, and also Surefour on Nepal definitely stepped it up.
Yeah, you know, one thing I do want to mention as well, it's funny seeing some of the people online saying like, oh, they're saying he's not good with Dragon Blade. Yes, we know he's good with the Dragon Blade. It's just not this particular event. Like, he hasn't been as good as I'm sure he would want to be. And that right there was a display of the talent that he has. But now let's shift focus on the Netherlands here, because they have a lot of work in front of them, James, and they came close to winning in Nepal.
Yeah, they're struggling to make the proper adjustments, right? We saw Too Easy going off onto that McCree once again to try and deal with Surfforce Tracer, and he did put it in place there on Sanctum in particular, but it was just there's too many threats at this point coming out from the side of Canada right now. I mean, you know, Megachu being able to flex off onto that bar once again. We saw how potent it is, and it's just so difficult at this point. I mean, everyone on the side of Netherlands are really trying their heart out. We can see Visility once again. I'm going to bring him up again because, you know, he is like one of the newer additions like to this tier 1 scene, right? We didn't know much about him, but he's still standing tall amongst all of these giants.
Crusade too. I mean, it's great to see Crusade flexing over on the Pharah. You know, that was very important. I think they need that. You're bobbing your head over there.
Yeah, I'm bobbing my head. I know. They say play to your strengths, okay? And I think Crusade has been brilliant on the Diva thus far. I mean, he is a really smart player, Crusade. But I don't think he has been hitting his rockets on the Pharah. I mean, we saw it earlier versus South Korea today. So I just think maybe he should tone down the ego a bit. He's very eager to show the world that, you know, he's a fantastic player overall. But I don't think the Pharah has been to his strength so far. So maybe chill on the Diva for a bit.
Yeah, you may need to chill on the Diva.
Hold the right click, man.
Yeah, hold the right click. Do what you need to do. Ay, con Dios. All right. So, now we have Game 3 coming up next here. The Netherlands are picking this one. I think we will be taking a trip to Horizon Lunar Colony.
Oh boy.
Not the
Haven't
loser
been there
colony
yet.
that I was born in.
Moon, baby.
So yeah, I think that's probably where we're going to see them go. And yes, I would like to see Crusade stick on the Diva. But we are going to, if they go there, I mean, we saw how well Canada played that as well. So I don't know. Like, I just want the Netherlands to take a game so that we can get more.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree with that, but I mean, there weren't too many signs of weaknesses on the Canada roster. I also love how they managed to implement Sombra now, this time not having Rolf on it, but actually going for Surefour on it, and he did a lot of work with that Sombra.
Yeah, for sure. Surefour. He neutralized 2 sound barriers for Morte. Surefour?
For Surefour.
For Surefour. Dude, you're messing with mine. It's been a long day. I don't need this in my life.
Okay, well, listen.
Wow.
We're gonna collect ourselves here with my terrible dad jokes, and we're gonna send it down to Malik over on the floor as an interview. Malik, what's going on?
Not much, just chilling with my guy Joint Voice here from the Dutch team. So another rough one for the Netherlands team against Team Canada. What are your thoughts on the matchup so far?
Yeah, like you said, it's definitely a rough start here. You know, Canada played really well, especially agilities with the blades. Sombra, it was a really great pick for Canada. We don't really know how to counter that. So, yeah, I hope the boys can bounce back at the 3rd map, so let's see.
This is the first time the Netherlands has actually had a team at Overwatch World Cup. How difficult was it putting this squad together?
You know, both not difficult and difficult because we don't have a lot of pro players here. We only have like 4 pro players in the Netherlands, so of course they're going to play. They have the most experience. We have like talented players like Facility and Jonah, but we don't really have main tanks in the Netherlands, so it was really hard to pick a main tank. We picked Jonah because of his experience in the StarCraft, and I think he's doing really well, but you know, you see that XQC is just a really experienced main tank, and that can really make the difference here.
So you guys are down 0-2, but it's not over yet. There's still a chance for you to come back. What do you think the boys need to do in order to get back in this game?
Yeah, it's really hard. I think just more coordinated teamwork, just more communication. I think Canada is just more coordinated right now, really more confident. I think the boys really need to be more confident in their engages, and I think then it's going to be all right, but let's see how it goes. So.
We'll see how it goes. All right, Joint Voice, thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
And we're almost back with the next match, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and send it back to the desk. Take it away, Golden Boy.
Thank you so much, Malik, for that one. Always great to hear from the committee members, that time from the Dutch committee. And, you know, they know that this is a challenge. Canada has displayed some incredible skill here, and the Netherlands need to get a win and they're looking to do so in this Assault game mode. Question is, James, Horizon, Volskaya Industries?
It's such a difficult choice here because we've seen how strong Surefour can be, being that anchor DPS, especially on point B. We saw him swap off into Soldier 76. You know what? I want to see them actually take it to Horizon Lunar Colony because, you know, we have seen the strength of Surefour on that Sombra, and that is not something you want to deal with. So it's pick your poison, right? Do you pick Surefour on 76 or do you pick Surefour on Sombra? Sombra, like the Netherlands had mentioned, they don't really know how to play around. So instead, go with the 76.
All right, Reinforced, thoughts?
I'm going to go with the Horizon Lunar Colony here. Netherlands have looked really strong on that map. Even versus South Korea to an extent, with their dive, with the Sombra, playing just all out, really close to the choke. We've seen it a couple of times, just diving straight. And it's worked really well for them. So I think they're really confident in our ability to play that map, especially on the first point, and I'm excited to see them bring it out.
Now, Canada, though, I mean, you talk about the aggression that the Netherlands can potentially bring here, but Canada has been known to do that, you know, as well. And surely they're anticipating this, especially after seeing the Netherlands against South Korea.
They will. I'm pretty sure they are prepared for that. They did see what Dante managed to do, how they passively defense dived into their opponents. So they most likely must have taken note on that, and they should be prepared. I guess we'll see what they're having in store for us in just a second.
Indeed, we shall see. Will Canada punch their ticket to Anaheim, California, or will the Netherlands continue to fight on? Let's send it over to your casters, Uber, Mr. X.
And the Netherlands now, they teeter on the sharpest of precipices, Matt. One map away from potentially bowing out of this entire thing. Not representing a BlizzCon, and for Canada, obviously a huge honor that would be for them to make it through. Just one more map. Can the Netherlands keep them at bay?
And Canada wants to improve on their placing from last year. I mean, well, just qualifying there would do that. 9 through 12 last year. Much stronger team coming in this year for Canada. You know, going over to Horizon Lunar Colony, and we were talking a little bit during the break where, you know, it didn't seem like the Netherlands had any answer for Surefour on the Sombra. Going into this one, will we see the Sombra again from Surefour? And if we do, what does the Netherlands do to stop it?
Closest we get was 2easy's McCree there at the end of Nepal, and even that, again, was a little bit too late in the piece, perhaps. Horizon Lunar Colony, it will be. And now the cheers of the crowd to get behind it. Arguably, probably the Netherlands team here as well, and ask me for them to see a European representative go. But in the deep space, Matt, no one can hear the cheers of Oranje.
And I will say, I know a lot of times it's very hard to kind of distinguish, you know, tank play between teams, but, you know, XQC has had a fantastic series going up against Jonah, who, you know, Jonah typically plays DPS on the teams he plays on, so you see the power of a really strong main tank can provide for a team.
The Netherlands going to open up here with a Sombra composition of their own. Dante was not the main Sombra on his previous esports team, however, definitely has a degree of ability on that pick. We'll see how it works. Netherlands, again, I think they're hoping to bait something here. You can see them moving back and forth. Yona as well. Are they going to jump on our Sombra now into what is often the party room, and not a good kind of party, if I'm honest with you. The Netherlands are going to push out of it, though, not allow themselves to be caught up in these close quarters and desiccated. Backing up, again, very tentative play.
Yeah, the Netherlands are going to play off the health packs inside of this room, trying to farm EMP, but when Surefour takes out Dante at the beginning, can't really play off the EMP no more. Now Canada smells blood in the water, Mitch. They're going to push on forward here, try and wipe the rest of the Netherlands.
And look at Facility as well. XQC has found his target now, the Primal Rage. No one wants to be in that room right now. You just don't. Crusade is going to fall to the flailing fists of fury. It's XQC leaving a mark and probably a stain of the enemy team on the ground as the Netherlands are forced into a full-scale retreat.
You will have the EMP for this next fight. You'll have a Dragon Blade as well for the Netherlands, so it obviously is bad to lose that first one, but you have some things to work with here going up against Canada, trying to get closer here to taking point A.
All right, so the time the Netherlands spent in that low room allowed them to actually get Dante up to an EMP, so now the Netherlands are actually going to take a completely different tack and work their way around the left side of the point. This EMP is pretty important. It's very central, core to their strategy in this approach now. Just going to go straight forward. Dante, oh, I know what he wants to do. He wants to find Rolf. He takes his shield away, but Rolf hasn't managed to evade death for now. He gets away, but Facility connects with Joe Meister, and now both supports for Canada are down. It's a self-destruct on the point there. Yes, Netherlands will avoid that for sure, but they'll be coming back to claim what's theirs.
Yeah, it was XQC with one, Agilities with a blade kill there for Canada. They're just trying to stay alive for as long as they can. They will finally fall here, as you will see the Netherlands take the point behind that strong EMP.
good opening. Only took 2 fights for the Netherlands to make it happen, and they did it while using that Sombra. Surefour now is going to be switching over here. He wants to contest the health pack, especially out on the left-hand side of point B. That's where keeping that Mega in control of Canada is going to be very, very important. It'll prevent the Netherlands from having a staging ground, a forward outpost, you could say, in enemy territory.
Well, it's actually, I was going to say, I wonder if the Netherlands switches off the Sombra as soon as they find out that Canada has one, and the health packs are hacked.
Anyway.
But it does force the change from the Netherlands, so now this is kind of an interesting mind game. Like, will they see that the Sombra is gone and maybe go back to it?
Well, I mean, sure, yeah, Surefour had locked Sombra and then switched off of it there, so I don't even know if you would have seen that change.
He did get to the left-hand side, but I want to say maybe that when the Netherlands saw the health packs were hacked, that's when they decided to make the change. Surefour able to take Crusade out at the beginning of this one, so you get D.Va out of the equation. That'll let you put down a ton of damage.
There's a chance here for the Netherlands in this fight. They actually traded out fairly well. XQC's dropped, so Yona now as well can actually be, you know, the king of the jungle essentially right now. The jump forward, pop that shield down. It seems like Canada are split though. They've actually found a weakness here in the Netherlands. Mort is down. Mangachu does get desuited, but Yona can't do too much more. Facility, that's a nice little fade away. We haven't seen him play much Soldier 76 at all in this match. But again, you're kind of trading out equally as the Netherlands. You need to do much more than that to actually be able to establish a position on the point.
Yeah, Surefour in that fight could just sit all the way back on 76 and nobody can test him. He was able to put down lots of damage on multiple players. And look at what we have here. So Too Easy bringing out the Widow.
Right, so it's very important that Too Easy is given space by his team and that he isn't sort of pressured out by Canada. Agilities has actually switched over towards the Genji here, so I have to wonder if that's all part of the plan. Too Easy again. Some information to be gained now. I'm not sure if he's looked up at the rafters and noticed the fact there's D.Va there, because Mangachu doesn't have to go far, and Too Easy has been accosted here. Has a lot of big tanks in his face, but I think XQC is trying to make a point of this. Too Easy is flattened against the wall.
XQC has been so aggressive on Winston with the Primal Rages, gets right into Too Easy's face, takes him out. He dies going all the way back for Canada, but we'll see if the Netherlands decides to try and take advantage of that jump onto the point, and there you see, it will be Yona on the point here. The Transcendence is going to come in for the Netherlands as well.
Yeah, and Too Easy's going to kiss the ring, switching back to Tracer. Facility going down early in this fight, it's already over. The Netherlands have to get their heck out. Use a Transcendence there, and Canada committing it here as well, even after the fact. Perhaps that's because Mangachu dropped down. Crusade desuited, sat on the point as mini D.Va now, it's going to have to go down.
You probably could have gotten through that fight without the Transcendence, but just to be safe, they pop it. Now you do have the sound barrier still for Canada coming into this next one, but on the side of the Netherlands you have attack visor, you have sound barrier, you have a self-destruct as well. You're going to have a primal rage, so the Netherlands has a lot of ultimates coming into this next fight. See, maybe if they can get Facility in a nice spot with attack visor to do some damage.
Yeah. Canada using this second point as a bit of a jungle gym now. They've split their team into up on high and down on the ground. This means the Netherlands constantly have to be checking from low to high and so on and so forth to make sure they're not left upon in a flurry. Both tanks now for Canada up on high. They're going to go for Facility here, so he's going to have to back up. XQC knows what his margins are. He knows his ins and outs. Facility now is going to be pressured out. Tries to go for the tactical visor, but he's cut down. He gets that refunded at least, but it means that Netherlands can't really get rolling in this fight at all.
Yeah, you'll take that, I think, if your team Canada just stops the attack visor from coming out. As now the Netherlands will be forced to retreat. More time dwindling off the clock. Canada, though, they have no ultimates for this next fight. The sound barrier is gone. Rolf getting closer towards that Transcendence. This should be a fight where the Netherlands has a huge advantage coming into it.
They've done their due diligence, they've banked up their ultimates, they've dotted their I's, they've crossed their T's, but now it comes down to how the pieces of the puzzle come together. Again, Facility is going to be impeded by the presence of XQC up in front. He tries to turn around, Agility again has found him, and this time Facility doesn't get his tack visor for the next fight. Punished twice in a row, that 76 pick is not working.
Agilities yet again, he comes down from the top following XQC up. He's able to take out the Zenyatta and the 76, this time with the Netherlands burning the tack visor. The rest of Canada cleans up the remaining members of the Netherlands Facility, just trying to get out of harm's way. But man, that was not good for the Netherlands. Everything they had banked is completely gone.
Facility quietly chanting to himself, I need healing, down to 75, and was forced to wait till one of his supports came out of spawn. He has switched towards the Genji. Canada are in control. You know that if Netherlands are switching back to something that didn't work already, that's a very good sign for the Maple Leafs. XQC again. His perch, where he belongs up on high, perhaps he's overlooking his kingdom right now, or the kingdom that may come. He makes it to that BlizzCon state. He's discorded, but still having to drop down when he needs to, just trying to keep tabs on where his supports are.
But being up top gives him so much visibility of where the Netherlands is going, how many players are split up, and Agilities now. It seems like he's trying to find the right time to pop this Dragon Blade. XQC on your screen, you see he pops the Primal Rage, just knocks some players back. Surefour gets a big pick at the beginning. You may not even need the Dragon Blade here. You banked up the Tac Visor if you're Canada as well. You're in a very good spot to pull this hold off with 45 seconds on the clock for the Netherlands.
I don't know what the Netherlands have got here to break this ironclad grip that Canada have over the second point. An ultimate disadvantage to say the least. Too easy gets picked up by Joe Meister. Hello? What are you doing, bro? That is not good at all. The Netherlands now have one push remaining. That's going to be it. The Transcendence is going to be there. A couple ultimates may come during the fight. But it's all or nothing now. The writing's on the wall. The Netherlands have to come and face the music.
They have a tough decision here. They need to get on Surefour in the back, but they can't put so much pressure on him because Agilities is just going to come right from the top and cut right through him. We'll see how the Netherlands tries to pull this off. It would be a miracle.
Agilities to dive bomb there, but didn't find his intended target. The Netherlands are going to have to chase in the Transcendence for this fight. Agilities takes to the sky. Now again, the Magpie will drop on his prey. Dante falls down first. A huge pick off and a great way to start the fight. Agilities on towards Yona now as well. Bazildi trying to keep it back in his court. He gets one kill, but that sound barrier hasn't done a whole lot for the Netherlands in this fight. Agilities just takes a quick breather, just a quick breath of fresh air back in base, gets some health back on him, and now that overtime is ticking down, the Netherlands are nowhere to be seen. Canada hold them on that second point. Only one for Netherlands now in this match, and that's about it. All Canada have to do is finish this map, and they will be headed straight to BlizzCon, and the hope of Europe here in Katowice will have fallen.
Yeah, and at the end there, the Netherlands, all they had was the Tranquility there. They use it to just get on the point, just to make it through. They take a ton of damage on the way in, so they have to pop it. And then once that goes away, Agilities pulls out the Dragon Blade. Surefour actually doesn't even get a chance to use the Tac Visor there at the end. Didn't even need it. As Canada has put themselves in a very good position. I know I wouldn't call it a shocking 3-0, but it's a very strong performance here against a very talented Netherlands team, which I know we expected this to be a very close match. Could potentially go down to the wire. A dominant performance by Canada so far.
This man on your screen, they say XQC is marketable, but not just that, Matt. He's also an incredibly dynamic part of the spearhead that is Canada's front line. The Netherlands, Too Easy and Mort, you know, they've been teammates in previous titles over many years, and they've been in this position before, but you know what? It just doesn't get any easier. They have to dig incredibly deep to try and bring this back, and all the Canada need on that point is one tick on the second point.
Yeah, this is a position they've been in before, but did not want to be in again here. So now they find themselves, their backs against the wall. What does the Netherlands pull out here? Try and throw some things in their favor. Looks like they're going to bring out the Sombra again. You'll have Too Easy on the 76, Facility on the Genji. So they've been strong in that all weekend long. Now they add the Sombra in, so they get that extra healing. Maybe she can cause some chaos with the EMPs at the beginning of this. On the side of Canada, Mangachu will go over to the Pharah, so you will see that triple DPS setup, which I really like that decision from Canada. You've seen them have a ton of success with this comp.
It means once Canada gets to the point, the Netherlands are going to have their attention stretched in multiple directions. It's very unlikely that Mangachu will approach from the same direction as the rest of his team, creating an extra threat, a flanking maneuver, if you will. He's forced back here. Crusade going very aggressive to start with here, and Dante, that's given Dante enough space to leap upon Roof and remove the Mercy from the lineup here. Canada have got to go back to base.
Yeah, they're going to go all the way back. When you get picked on the Mercy at the beginning, can't really get much else done. We'll see now. Canada, if any changes come through, no, they just back up. Going to get together as a team and see if they can make a good, really first attempt as Rolf gets picked off. Nothing happens there for Canada.
Dante, 85% on that first EMP here. Canada are unlikely, though, to be caught all together in one ball, so he's really going to have to find the right arm with the pincer to use that ultimate on. Agility's half health, forced to back up here. Rolf obviously spending most of his time tending to Mangachu's wounds, so Agility's kind of has to wait in line for his health service.
Now you do have the EMP available, but it's going to be Agility's dashing right through Bazility there as Mangachu picks up Too Easy. This is a great opportunity for Canada. The EMP comes out for the Netherlands as well. It'll be a self-destruct too. Rolf with 2 reses there. He'll get XQC and Joe Meister back in the fight And this looks like Canada getting on the point.
Excellent timing on the res there. Wolf just makes it after the self-destruct from that Diva. Canada now have control, and Agilities isn't done quite yet. Wants to get up towards Morton, but you better believe Morton gives a good account of himself. At least gets Agilities, but XQC is never too far behind. One thing you can say about Canada is they back each other up to the very end. They'll have this point, there's no doubt about it. There's nothing the Netherlands can do. And now, one last chapter to be written in Canada's campaign here in Katowice. Catcher, point B.
And they're able to get Facility here right off the break, so I would not be surprised if you saw Canada get extremely aggressive here, jump on the point, take the fight to the Netherlands.
Set up here, and the tension's going to be real for the Netherlands right now. Frustration building, but so are their ultimates. 4 of them are just about to come around the corner. It's not much of a window for Canada to try and make the most of here. An early pick would be big, though, for the Maple Leafs to try and make the way forward. Again, Facility gets a little bit too much of a licking from XQC's Tesla rifle. Forced to back up.
Yeah, and they don't push right away, Canada, because they want to get Surefour on the 76. So they trade him off from the Tracer onto the 76 here, trying to get the high ground control.
Mangachu more than happy to test Crusade's metal. Backs up. Wolf's going to be there with him as well. There's going to be a barrage if required. And yes, he does benefit from the sound barrier. No, Mangachu sitting at the back of the point here, getting free damage and hopefully not being contested if you're a Canadian fan. Agilities goes in for Dante. It's a costly kill, but it's one he completes nonetheless. And Too Easy springs forth from his spawn, and Mangachu doesn't get any value for that barrage. He drops down. The res for Surefour may have been frivolously committed to this fight. Joe Meister's up on the point. Rolf's forced to try and chase down his compatriot and give him the healing he needs, but he gets cut down in the process. And the Netherlands have a chance to steal themselves one more time. 5 minutes. It's going to be a long haul. They're going to dig in for a cold winter.
I was going to say, still, Canada has 5 minutes to get in. An eternity here to try and take the point B. As you see Surefour now, he's worked his way up to attack visor. Has Mangachu there with the Matrix to eat up all the damage coming in, so he's going to have free reign from above. Just trying to spot players here, trying to poke and prod, figure out the best way to use this attack visor.
Crusade is taking quite a lot of residual damage here, and it's down to about half. He does get that boosted back up, and for now, Canada are just looking for an opening. So are the Netherlands, though. They know if they remove someone from Canada early, they'll have won the fight already. Crusade, again low. Defense matrix is being used, but that's Agility's going down to Too Easy. Still Canada want to commit. Surefour drops down. It's a 1-for-1 fight. Helix Rockets have been the name of the play pretty much so far. But still Canada not convinced to go in on this one here. Transcendence being forced out definitely means that Canada will back up.
Yep, Canada's going to back all the way up, and I don't really hate that from Canada, because you actually force the Transcendence out there on the side of the Netherlands. So it's actually a fight where you hold on to your attack visor, you hold on to the sound barrier, you bait out that Transcendence. It's actually a pretty decent trade here for Canada, considering how much time they have on the clock to get this done.
They can bank up those ultimates as well. They're more than happy. Every ultimate they force out of the Netherlands is good. And the Netherlands kind of have to force their ultimates in. They have to use them because there's no other choice. If they mess up once, it's going to be done. Their hopes of going to Anaheim are going to be dashed. So Surefour again will just sit behind his tank line now. It's going to be a drag blade from Facilities. A nano boost as well. Who can he find? Rule first. Next Surefour. That's 2 done. Mangachu drops out of his suit. Quite vulnerable for him, but he actually gets on towards Yerna, who gets a little bit too far forward. Facility realizes the folly. Perhaps an error of his ways now, back towards the point. It's him versus 2. He does at least have that Winston there, swinging his fist, but Agilities had the Dragon Blade himself. Now they're up on the point. That's it! Canada have done it! Booking their ticket to Anaheim for BlizzCon. Again, we saw them already go up against the USA team. It wasn't a convincing performance, but Canada have shown they deserve to be back in California, representing. And a huge, huge road for this team.
And Facility there towards the end. He dives in, he's able to get rid of Surefour and Joe Meister, but Agilities gets on the point. His Dragon Blades were phenomenal. He cuts down 3. Mangachu picks up 1 with the self-destruct. They get control of the point. They didn't need much time to get there. It was just that one slip-up from the Netherlands that cost them.
And much deserved for Canada as well. It was their performance that brought them such a huge margin of time to be working with here, and of course they will be shaking hands. The Netherlands were hoping for much more. Guys, that's going to be it for us. Thank you so much, both from myself, Uber, and Mr. X. We'll see you next time, but for now, we're done with this one. We're going to head back to the desk and have this one discussed.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, and what a match it was. Canada will be going to BlizzCon 2017 in Anaheim, California, with a 3-0 victory over the Netherlands. The Dutch, though, fought valiantly, and you have to give them all the credit in the world there. But today is the Canadians' day, as they are successful. So, that being said, team, we have to talk about this Horizon matchup. It was the Dutch's choice, but Canada did what we felt like they were more than capable of doing, considering how Canada performed before on Horizon.
Yeah, I mean, it really was the best choice Netherlands had. They had a great defense on that map with the very composition we just saw out of them with Dante on that Sombra. They did try to pull out the same thing, but last time they weren't facing off against the Pharmacy, and that really enabled Canada to take that first point super quickly. Surefour made the adjustments right afterwards accordingly, and well, we all know the results. Yep. Canada is going to BlizzCon.
There we are. Look at you, Richard.
I'm so happy. I'm sorry.
You just want poutine.
Yeah, I just want poutine. Actually, Surefour, you're taking us out for poutine later. So, actually, no, because we got to go to Canada for good poutine. I don't believe Mani.
Or to Korea.
Yeah, dude, I was there to witness it. It was good stuff.
Yeah, but did you ever had the Canadian version of it? So you don't have any comparison.
It was the best poutine I ever had in my life.
Statement.
Well, speaking of, you know,
best things.
Best
Look at those plays.
Yeah, I do want to talk about the Netherlands' facility. So at the end there, it was essentially just going to be a fireworks show. 11 ults went into it. The only person who didn't have an ult, I believe, was Dante, who was just, he used his Transcendence already. He couldn't join the show, but it was well executed in the end there, Reinforced, but really, I mean, when you have that many ults, anything is possible.
Yes, pretty much anything is possible. But even though Facility had a pretty good nanoblade himself, I mean, the abilities in the kill feed just showed up and put the data in the coffin for the side of Canada.
Yeah, he tried his best there.
Agilities really showed up this playoff match.
17 years old, right?
That's the crazy thing. When the World Cup was announced for this year, we didn't know if actually players like Agilities or Flower would be able to compete. But the rules had changed, and so 17-year-olds were allowed in, and thankfully so, because we've seen some of the best play out of these guys.
And you think about the ceiling for these players, and it is so high. Flower is 17 years old, and like,
I know.
He could do literally anything he wants. You know, you have Agilities, another young gun, 17 years old, and he's already that incredible.
Yeah, but when you have Flower, of course, being guarded as they call it, by the coach of LW Blue, Pavan, and then you have Agilities guarded by XQC, so it's a bit of a difference, you know, in the end.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, though, I'm excited to see the Canadians once again make it into the top 8 at BlizzCon. And this time around, they're going in it with an incredible squad that I'm sure many fans are excited to see compete on the world stage. Let's go ahead and take a look at the final results here from the Katowice group stage. We started off the day with some group play. South Korea face off against the Netherlands, ending in a 4-0. And we feared it was going to be Sweep City once again, but Canada and Russia brought the thunder. We had a 3-2 finish there in favor of the Canadians. And then Singapore and Turkey went the distance 2-2. Both of those teams leaving it all out there. Huge shout out to them. Then South Korea versus Russia. It was a rematch of BlizzCon 2016. But South Korea, just as they did at BlizzCon, once again came out unscathed at 3-0. And then to close it off, as you guys had just witnessed, Canada, they will be moving on as well with the Koreans to Anaheim, California against the Netherlands there. And there you see the bracket almost filled. And oh boy, Reinforce, that's going to be fun for you.
Yeah, it's pretty, as we see, there's a few question marks left in the bracket. So it's going to be interesting to see who we face in the semifinal after they've beaten Korea in the quarters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, I respect it. I respect it. Yeah, well, well, there you have it. South Korea and Canada will be joining France, Australia, China, and Sweden with 2 more spots remaining. Guys, that's it. It's a wrap. It was a pleasure once again to work with you guys. We're world travelers going across the world and talking about Overwatch. It's a pretty good gig.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah. In fact.
Yeah, right. You can't really complain. Jamerson, a pleasure to have you as well. You've been a joy to work with on the desk, and I'm looking forward to seeing you way more in Overwatch in the future.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thank you so much for having me out. You know, that's it for me here for the World Cup, but I will be in Los Angeles just to enjoy the games.
Yes.
So I'm going to watch you guys sweat while I'm just going to be sitting in the crowd, enjoying it all.
Oh,
it's going to be nice.
Oh, you're such a good friend.
Yeah.
You're such a good friend. Reinforce, thank you so much for joining us here. You will be back with us again in LA?
Yes. Thank you for letting me stop by and do some analysis. From the Swiss city to the streets of Golden Boy.
The main street to the streets is real?
The street is real. The street is real now.
And Zoe, always a pleasure to have you here, alongside my partner in crime.
I love you.
Hearts.
Hearts all over the place. You do tiny
Kappa
hearts?
Pride.
No,
Tiny
big
hearts.
hearts.
I do
man.
tiny
Big
hearts.
hearts.
I do both.
No, with big hearts and tiny hearts.
South Korean hearts.
Remember, we're going around the world.
Around the world.
It's true.
That's right, guys. And that is going to do it for us here, myself, for Monty, Doa, Uber, Mr. X, the desk here, and the production as well. Big thank you to ESL here at the studio in Katowice, Poland, and to the Blizzard team for all of their incredible support. But we are not done yet. No, sirree, we are not done, because we're going to be making our way to Los Angeles, California. That's right, sunny LA. And we're going to be there to see Team USA, Team UK, Chinese Taipei. I rhyme all day. You already know. Come on, I'm taking it. Israel. I mean, I can't remember it all right now. But that is going to do it for us here. So we will see you August 11th through the 13th next weekend. So make sure you guys save the date, because we have plenty more Overwatch action coming at you here. And it's going to be incredible. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Play more Overwatch.